Hello, everyone. I hope all is well with you. I am Demetra Kaye, and again, I hope you're having a great day. Of course, I am here on the African Diaspora News channel, but normally you can find me on my channel, Facebook and YouTube, Sunday through Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central Time, and of course, here Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Now, okay, we're going to have a very good conversation. We're going to be talking about a Democrat shill giving white folks permission to be anti-Black toward Black ICE agents. Now, when I saw this, I was like, surely he is joking. But apparently he was serious because he doubled down on, getting the backlash from him saying, hey, it's okay. So I'm going to show y'all the video and all of that in just a minute. But of course, we got a couple of things that we need to take care of. First, I want to show y'all, and I know some people who are coming in, you'll see this a little bit later, and people watching on the replay. But of course, you guys know that the African Diaspora News Channel will be going to Ohio for their Black Expo. So I'm going to show y'all a video where you can get your tickets and all that. So here we go.
Unity, reunion, parade, cookout, line dance party, backyard, barbecue, fish fry, vegan soul, Black business, food truck, networking, outdoor, concert, music, festival, celebration of the year.
It is an amazing experience. You have people from all over the country.
This is my second year attending, and they over-delivered.
So if you haven't come before, you need to come.
And you know what? I'm just out here vibing.
Get tickets now at OhioBlackExpo.com.
So again, you can go to OhioBlackExpo.com. Again, OhioBlackExpo.com to get your tickets, and they have different sales leading up to the event. Sometimes they have like a buy one, get one. I don't know if they'll do that this year, but last year they did. And they're not even expensive at all. So again, if y'all want to see us, I know for sure myself, Brother Phil, and I believe Sister Vicky, y'all want to see us and, come out and say hello, please get your tickets right away. Do not delay. Okay. So, of course, you also know that we have an app, the African Diaspora News Channel app that you can get from your Google or Apple Play Store, where we have created an app for you, from us, by us, right? Black owned 100%, where you can get the news you can use. Of course, you can get the news on the regular TV, but they're not going to give it to you like we're going to give it to you, like the conversation we're going to have here, right? Conversation we're having here, they might cover it on the news, but they'll cover it from, a different point of view. Like, I think he might be on to something, but we ain't gonna cover it like that here. So if you already have our app, thank you so much. But if you don't, what's taking you so long and all of that? Okay. Now, one other thing before I get started, I must say rest in peace to that of Reverend Jesse Jackson. Now, listen. I'm not about to be getting into all the, what he did and did not do. I'll let everybody else do that. When I logged on to Facebook this morning, I saw a whole host of people saying some pretty nasty things. I was like, man, he ain't even been gone that long. I mean, I'm talking bad stuff. I was just like, wow, that is awful. Again, not getting into the stuff that he did, but I wanted to pay homage to him and just show this little short clip. Because out of the many things that Reverend Jesse Jackson did, of course, you guys know that he worked closely with Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King since he was like 23, 24 years old. Of course, he ran for president 2 times, was not successful. But up until the time that Barack Obama was elected, he was the first Black candidate to get as many votes as he did. Again, he did not win, but he was running as a Democrat and all that. He had to push coalition and just a whole host of things. Many consider him to be one of the triple OGs of civil rights leadership. So again, he has gone on, but I want to show y'all this short video because this is what resonated with me the most with Jesse Jackson.
I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be in jail, but I am somebody. I may be uneducated, but I am somebody. I am Black, beautiful, proud,
Okay. Now I'm already kind of seeing some of the comments, and again, I don't want to get into the nastiness of it. That's just not what I do. Just keep it real with you. I know there's a lot of people on the internet who gonna go through all of that, dragging him through here, there. I'm not gonna do that. I was not raised that way, and I also remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying, "Don't laugh, learn." Right. So I know a lot of people are thinking that it's their job to do that, to drag him and talk about it. Listen, what you put out there, it comes back. That's all I'm really gonna say about that. But I chose that particular clip because he was saying to us, our people back then, right? I wasn't even born, but in spite of what you're going through or what they say about us as Black folks here in America, we are somebody, regardless of your situation, because from the plantation, we have been taught that we are nobody, we are nothing, and that we weren't even human, right? So Reverend Jesse Jackson, he kind of in a sense made that his mantra to say, hey, I am somebody. And so there was somebody back then and there's somebody now. In 2026, Black folks still need to believe that we are somebody, right? So I just want to play that in homage to him. Again, I'm not getting into the mud and the vitriol about who Reverend Jackson, Jesse Jackson was. I'll leave that to y'all, whoever wants to do that, and anybody else, but that's not my cup of tea. But I love you anyway, though. So let's go ahead and get into it. So not too long ago, and of course, you guys know the ICE raids. I guess they're still kind of going on, although it seemed like they've kind of dwindled down a little bit. But specifically, there in Minnesota, before Tom Homan took charge of the situation, he took it over from Greg Bavino, who was, really doing the most, I guess. But so Tom Homan went and they took out a bunch of ICE agents and Border Patrol and things like that. But before he did that, I mean, we've seen people be unalived, like Renee Good and Alex Petty there in Minnesota. Right now, we know, of course, in Los Angeles, Keith Porter was unalived. He wasn't in no protest or nothing like that by an ICE agent. But nevertheless, there is a lot of ICE activity out there. And so one particular time, a Black ICE agent was called the Word. Now, I'm going to show you the video, and I bleeped out, as best I could, because, certain things we can't say on here. But on our app, we could, right? So let me show you the video first. Then I'm going to show you the Democrat Shill. You guys know who he is. Saying it's okay. So here's the video.
You're calling a woman a man. I mean, what kind of a guy does that? Your fucking neighbor.
Okay, so that was this white folks calling that Black ICE agent the Word and calling him a house, and with the hard ER. Okay, it wasn't no A on the end, it wasn't a Negro, it was the hard ER. Okay, so all right, a lot of people are like, what? That's how y'all feel? Y'all really out there, talking to Black folks like that? Now again, he's an ICE agent. Now I want to show y'all Mr. Torre. Now, a lot of y'all know who he is. He's a Democrat pundit, shield, I don't know. But here is his explanation. He's got two. One, the first one, then he's going to double down. So I'm going to show you the first one.
99.9% of the time, it is wrong for a white person to call a Black person the N-word, but we may have found the exception. In Minneapolis recently, a white anti-ICE protester was in a group of anti-ICE protesters yelling at a Black ICE Gestapo agent. An unidentified white male called the Black ICE agent a house N-word who's working for the KKK. That's right, we have a white man calling a Black man the N-word. But this is a little bit different. White on Black usage of the N-word is a very serious issue. But this is a curveball example. Is it wrong for a white person to call a Black ICE officer a house N-word? Let's explore. The white man who used the N-word in this situation was being historically precise. This Black ICE agent, he is being a house N-word to the utmost degree. A Black man in ICE is a modern house slave. He's a barely paid mule for white supremacy. The KKK were domestic terrorists. ICE is domestic terrorism. I think this is a valid usage of the N-word. He's not attacking his Blackness per se. He's attacking his bootlicking choice to be in ICE while being a Black man. Being Black in ICE makes you a house N-word. So to call you that, it's almost like a professor pointing out, oh look, there's a modern house N-word. I think this usage is valid and acceptable. If it had just been the N-word, that would be problematic. But when he adds the house N-word, he's being historically realistic. So yes, it is okay to call Black ICE agents house N-words. They are.
Okay. So again, that was Torre saying it's okay. 99% of the time is not, but in this case, it's okay because he's a black ICE agent and he shouldn't be a black one, right? So he likened him to the KKK and all these other things, right? So I'm gonna get more into it, but I want to show y'all the doubling down because he got a lot of backlash, and I could kind of see some of the comments. And like y'all, a lot of people are like, huh? What you mean? They get to call the black ICE agent the N-word, the house N-word, because he's working for ICE. So here's the doubling down.
Black people are very mad that I said that it's okay to call a black ICE agent the N-word. Their argument, that word has been used as a weapon against our community. When you say we have suffered because of that word, you're including the black ICE agent in we. He is not in we. He is not black. He is not part of the community. People say that was the last word many of us heard before being lynched. That is 100% correct. But if you're a black ICE agent, you're part of a mob chasing people of color. He's not a descendant of those who got lynched. He's a descendant of those who were doing the lynching. If you're a black man in ICE, you have abandoned the community. You are a traitor. Maybe he's more of a slave catcher than a house Negro, but either way, you have destroyed your connection to the community. He's not a brother. He's not black. He's not part of our community. He's definitely not your brother. He would unalive you in a second. He wouldn't think, oh, that's a sister, I shouldn't. No, he would think, Massa Stephen Miller said, I can do anything I want. So you're defending Stephen from Django with a hammer who's part of a lynch mob chasing down people of color. Make that make sense. We understand all of this quite easily when it comes to Clarence Thomas and Candace Owens. We have excommunicated them. Their skin is black, but they're not part of the community. We would never stand up for their rights. We take no black pride from their success. They're permanently banned from the symbolic cookout. Being black in ICE is being Clarence Thomas and Candace Owens on steroids. He is not one of us. That, and if you can't see that, I might be side-eyeing you.
Well, I guess he gonna be side-eyeing me because I don't see it that way. I don't see where it's okay for a white person to call a black ICE agent a house N-word. Okay. Now, he basically said he's not a part of the community. He likened him to Candace Owens and the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, right? He says he used we a lot. We have excommunicated them. They're not a part of the community. And, it doesn't matter. He would unalive you. And I'm like, did the man unalive somebody? Or was he out there, getting the, illegal immigrants? Now, I went on to ICE's website to kind of get a gist of what it is an ICE agent is supposed to be doing. And in a nutshell, it says who we are. U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement, ICE employees protect America from the cross-border crime and illegal immigration that threaten national security and public safety. To carry out our mission, ICE focuses on legal and safe immigration enforcement, terrorism prevention, and combating transnational criminal threats. And so, of course, they're telling you if you want to come get a job, which it sounds like some people say they ain't getting paid. I don't know. I just the word on the curb, what I heard. But nevertheless, their job is really to do enforcement and removal and homeland security, right? So in a nutshell, an ICE agent's job is to remove people who are here illegally, and they put an emphasis on criminals who are here illegally. That is the job of an ICE agent. Now, have some ICE agents been doing some other things? Yes. Have they, they've been doing a lot of things I don't like, but just on a basic level, that is their job. So I'm listening to Torre call this man everything but a child of God, and he's agreeing that white folks should be able to call him, a house N-word because he's black, and he used these people of color things, and he's out there hunting down people of color. See the people of color stuff, right? It's like, well, is he hunting down Black Americans? Because I believe Torre is Black American, don't quote me, but is he hunting down Black Americans or even people that's here legally? He's supposed to be looking for people who are here illegally, but to liken this man to the KKK, and again, the KKK, we know who the KKK original target was and is. So to keep trying to marry these things that have to do with us, in a sense, to ICE and illegal immigration, that's what these Democrats are doing. And there he is trying to guilt people Black people specifically into, well, if you agree with what ICE is doing, or if you're an ICE agent that's black, then you the Klan and you part of the mob. You know what mob I'm talking about? I have to bleep that out. You part of the mob, and it's like, no, that man is employed. It's a job. ICE is not a new job. ICE has been around, from what I understand, like 22 years. So he's not doing something new. And unless he's, roughing up people unnecessarily and all that, he's not doing anything wrong. Okay. Well, I want to delve into house, Negro just a little bit by showing this clip of Malcolm X.
Slavery, when black people like me talk to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. The house Negro could afford to do that because he lived better than the field Negro. He ate better, he dressed better, and he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. He ate the same food his master ate and wore his same clothes. And he could talk just like his master, good diction. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. That's why he didn't want his master hurt. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" When the master's house caught a fire, he'd try and put the fire out. He didn't want his master's house burned. He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. But then you had some field Negroes who lived in huts, had nothing to lose. They wore the worst kind of clothes, they ate the worst food, and they caught hell. They felt the sting of the lash. They hated their master. Oh, yes, they did. If the master got sick, they prayed that the master died. If the master's house caught a fire, they prayed for a strong wind to come along. This was the difference between the two. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes. I'm a field Negro.
Okay. So again, many of us have seen that before, but that was Malcolm X really outlining the difference between a house Negro and a field Negro. Of course, the house Negro was in the house and he or she really loved Massa, didn't want nothing to happen to him. As he said, when Massa got sick or got a cold, this house Negro said, "Massa, we sick," but the field Negro wished that he would, go down below, to say the least. So when I hear white folks calling that ICE agent, and I see you guys saying that Torre is Barbados. Okay, so now we know really more so his motive, right? So when I hear white folks calling the black ICE agents the house Negro, is like the man is just working. I guess they're likening Christy Nome or Trump or whoever it is to Massa, I guess, but what do you call the other ICE agents that aren't black? The Latino ones. What do you call them? Or the white ones or the Asians or whoever else is out there? What is it just the black ones? And my thing is, why is it that black people, black ICE agents have to, I guess in a sense, are expected to stand on the side of illegal immigration? Because that's what I'm hearing. Oh, how dare you? How dare you out here? You house. They had a whole lot of things to say to him, but that's what we could play, right? But it's almost like he's expected, because he is black, to be on the side, and let's keep it a buck, in a lot of cases, sides of people who would not be on his side, okay? So the other thing is, when they're calling him a house Negro, it implies that there's a field Negro, right? Wouldn't you think? So in that case, who is the field Negro? Are you saying the illegal immigrant is the field Negro? I didn't see, because Negroes, in the sense in America, right? They were talking about the ones that were on the plantation. They weren't talking about the ones that came over here illegally and now they, ICE is after them or whatever it is. So it's like you're implying that they're the field Negroes, like they're the ones that's really just, out there and they're having a rough time at it. And I guess the black ICE agent is, making it harder for them. It's like, what are we doing here? They're not field Negroes. They're illegal immigrants, right? That's what it is. But again, that's that Democrat talking point of trying to marry, the Black struggle, especially of our ancestors, right from the plantation to what is going on now. And it's like they don't even compare. They compare like, I don't know, a mustard and peanut butter sandwich. I don't think they compare at all. They're not even in the same book. But that's what they're trying to do, because they're trying to tug on us emotionally and say, well, they're having the same thing happen to them that happened to us and our people. And it's like, well, it's still happening to us, right? They're getting the ICE activity. We get all the regular police activity on us, even to this day. It's just not talked about as much because, everybody's focusing on what's going on with ICE. But okay, so I want to know who the field Negro is supposed to be in the situation. And, up until some of them have been detained, what adverse treatment have the illegal immigrants experienced that compares to what our ancestors experienced on those plantations? I don't know. I haven't heard anybody being forced to pick no cotton, rice, tobacco. Now, I've heard of some things that's going on in the ICE detention centers they shouldn't be doing, but still, it pales in comparison to what our ancestors have gone through. Yeah, they're saying some of them are having their children snatched away from them, but they're getting them back. And I'm not agreeing with that. But when our folks was on those plantations, their children were ripped away, never to be seen or heard from again, never to see their wives and their husbands again, never, right? Massa come on up in the slave shack and do whatever he want, working them from sun up to sundown, sometimes 6-7 days. What illegal immigrant is experiencing that? So how do you even make that comparison? Okay, I'm just asking some questions. So he's also saying that the Black ICE agent is upholding the system. And I thought about it and said, is he upholding the system? I guess the system of white supremacy, right? Because it's all, whether you're Democrat or Republican, white supremacy, or is he working against the system that was in play 4 years ago? Well, what is that system? That system was mass immigration under the Biden-Harris administration. That's the system. And we're going to get into that in just a second. So, but the other question I have is, were the Democrats mad? Or were they calling Black ICE agents? Because I'm sure that wasn't the first ICE agent ever. Were they calling Black ICE agents house Negroes and things like that? When Obama was called the deporter in chief, he's still the deporter in chief to this day. Right here it says, based on data from the Department of Homeland Security and analysis from organizations like the Migration Policy Institute, Barack Obama deported more people than any other president in U.S. history, with over 3 million formal removals over his 2-year term from 2009 to 2016. So were there some house Negroes running around in the ICE agents, department then, or is it now? Because they never talk about that when Obama was doing it. Now, of course, Obama didn't have the austerity that Trump administration has, but he was still doing it. I didn't hear a peep out of the Democrats when it was going on then. But now all of a sudden, and you also didn't hear about the Democrats, whether it's, House representatives or Senate, Congress, or whatever, trying to bust up into detention centers and, line backing against ICE agents like LaMonica McIvers, who's looking at 17 years, right? She's a congresswoman from New Jersey. She's talking about Trump is trying to lock me away for 17 years. It's like he may or may not be, because she caught a federal charge, right? But nobody told you to be trying to go up in there and bust up into them detention centers to talk about, let me see the immigrants. Nobody told you to do it. And I know she wasn't in office when Obama was there, but they weren't doing it then. So what is the difference between what's going on now and then? Now, I want to say this. I would even argue, again, I don't like how they're doing it, but I would argue that it's probably ratcheted up a little bit more now under the Trump administration due to the protests and, a lot of the Democrats fighting against deportations, whether they're here legally or illegally or not. You have places like Los Angeles where Karen Bass, she's giving them Angelino cards, right? Because they're afraid to go outside. So she's giving them, money on a card so that they can, take care of themselves while they hide out from ICE. Now, mind you, again, they are here illegally. So when we talk about people fighting against ICE and things like that, all those things have to be considered. But I don't know. I haven't heard Torre or anybody else who's on the Democrat plantation mention any of those things. But he's talking bad about this man who's simply just working. ICE is a job. Okay. Now, lastly, I want to play y'all this clip. Now, this is a short clip of Dr. Claude Anderson really explaining the negative effects of, immigration.
So the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that are going to drive us in this underclass structure will be conservatism. The second thing is that you're going to have an unending influx of immigrants into the country. And that's what Dr. Price is talking about. And nobody, no black politician, no black organization wants to deal with that issue. They will avoid it at all costs, even though in their hearts they know that's one of the biggest problems for black folk. We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2.
Okay. So again, that was Dr. Claude Anderson, and he has been warning us. That was from 1994, mind you, that illegal immigration or immigration in general would put us further and further down. So he said we were number 2, right? The majority minority back then. Well, I looked to see, where are we at now? And this is where we are now. It says racial and ethnic demographics in order approximate. So since 2020, 2024. So of course, white, non-Hispanic, they are on the high end, about 64% of the population. Hispanics have now replaced us as the majority minority, right? Number 2. Looks like we're number 3. And we got some ways to go before we're number 4. But boy, he was telling the truth, wasn't he? He was telling the absolute truth. Now, of course, I never doubted him, but of course, that took place because of the way we vote. We know that, I would say, predominantly the Democrat Party is with, mass immigration. Of course, we could just look back to the last administration, the Biden administration. We saw what they were doing. They were like, come on, mi casa, you casa, or su casa. Come on in. Come and get all you can get. You can go here, you can go there, you can go everywhere. In fact, here's a phone, here's some money, here's some shelter. And if you don't like the food we give you, now this was, especially in New York, you don't like the food we're giving you, we'll give you a debit card and you can go buy the food that you desire. So they got it all. Again, this was the Democrat Party. You could go somewhere like Chicago and you still see Mayor Brandon Johnson. He is dying on the heel of taking care of illegal immigrants. He does not care. Him and the governor, J.B. Pritzker, they're going to do it anyway. We're not listening to Trump. We're taking them to court. We're protecting illegal immigrants. They're going against the wishes of the people who are voting against Chicago being a sanctuary city. Brandon Johnson was like, I don't hear you. I don't care. We're going to be a sanctuary city anyway. Sanctuary city means that they do not work with federal law enforcement to turn over or, give up illegal immigrants. And in fact, they help them and things like that. So that's what it means to have a sanctuary city. And so again, Black voters do what? What do we do the most? We vote, when I say we, I mean collectively, we vote for the Democrat Party the most. And we're going to continue to do it the most, even in this next election coming up, midterms. Now, I know some of us are starting to say, I better not do that because I'm realizing all the things that I've been saying here, but we're still going to do it. And we're still going to do it to our demise because we have seen, it's not a secret, the Democrats have crashed out for illegal immigration. They are not making it a secret that that's what they want to do. They rarely even mention Black Americans at all. Now, they are mentioning us now because of symbolism. What month is it? It is Black History Month. So, they're having these little talking points. The Congressional Do Nothing Black Caucus, they had the little press conference along with the Divine Nine and, all these other leagues and NAACP to, mention Black Americans, but then they mentioned Black and Brown. Then they mentioned, ICE. So it's like, oh, who are you talking to really? You're using Black History Month to give us an honorable mention, but you really want to talk about everybody else. So that's what they do. And so we also heard that when Trump and Kamala were running, and Trump, he said, basically said the immigrants are taking Black jobs, and everybody, oh, he's stupid. It's not true. Now, I'm not a fan of Trump, but it's like, was he lying? Was he lying? He wasn't lying. You just heard Dr. Claude Anderson say, hey, if we keep it up, we're going to be number 4. And we're getting there with number 3, but we used to be number 2. So we have to think about the way we vote. If we don't, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and we ain't going to have a leg to stand on. So what is the solution? It's simple. Stop listening to fools. Yes, I am likening Touré to a fool. And again, I thank y'all for letting me know that he is, I guess, an immigrant. You guys are saying he's from Barbados. It makes a lot of sense because, first of all, that word, the N word, is not something that he would have been called in Barbados, I don't think, right? And so there he is giving white folks a permission to go ahead and use it. He deserves it because that's what he is. It's like, huh? That man is working. It's on the job, okay? And you're giving them the green light. Now, see, the other part of that is you gonna mess around and give white folks the word, or the pastor say the word, they're gonna say it to the wrong person, and they're gonna rearrange their understanding, and they're gonna have you to blame, Touré. So I know y'all don't listen to people like Touré, but I'm just saying for people who do. Because he's got, especially on TikTok, almost 1 million followers. So somebody listening to him, stop listening to him. Because I ain't seen him out there. I don't know if he's been out there now, but I haven't seen him out there. But he's telling white folks, go ahead, call him that. Is disrespectful, first of all. It's disrespectful. You don't need to call him names. And he didn't tell them to do it, but he's saying it's okay that they did it. And it's not okay. It's hateful. So I want to see what you guys have to say about that. But yeah, nah. You're not giving white folks to call people the N-word. And my thing is, that also shows you really just how much the Democrats hate Black Americans. They hate us. That's hateful. Do you think that he would give permission to anybody to go call other groups of people disparaging names? Or if he saw somebody calling somebody outside of a Black American a name, do you think he would say, well, that's okay? I'm not going to say it. And don't y'all say it either, but we here, okay? Do you think that he would have a platform if he told people to call them people, when I say them people, names that you shouldn't be calling them? How long do you think Touré's platform would stand? If them people saw that he was telling other people and giving them permission to call them horrible names. So why is it okay to do to us? Just asking. So anyway, let me go all the way to the top. I don't think I acknowledged anybody. How rude. I was just running my mouth. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Mike Nice, what's going on with you? Cloudness, hope you're having a great day. Olivia, what's going on? Grand Rising to you. Let's see. Albie Chill says Columbus is full of Democrat shills. Laugh out loud. They are the shillists of the shillists out there. They're everywhere. I don't know if there's a heavy concentration there. When I was there, it was a whole host of lovely people. I didn't run into that, but yeah, I would imagine that there's Democrat shills everywhere. But okay, are you going? Am I going to see you there? Buckhorse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Simply Chandra, what's going on? And let's see, who else haven't I seen? Brandon, you say what? I know what you said what over because I saw the when you wrote it. I think when I was talking about Jesse Jackson, I think that's when you said that. Melvin, how you doing? He says on welfare and Black and somebody. Well, I mean, you if you're on welfare and you Black, you're supposed to think you nobody. See, that's what I'm saying. And everybody on welfare is not rooking the system or doing something they're not supposed to be doing. There's people on welfare who need it. But even people who are on welfare, for whatever reason, are they supposed to think, oh gosh, I'm nobody, I'm worthless? No, those are the people you actually want to speak to, because you want them to, raise their self-esteem and believe, hey, let me go out there and get after it. I'm not saying that, most people on welfare are lazy. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when you believe that you are somebody, you start walking and talking, right? And acting like somebody. You don't act like a defeated person. And that's what they taught us. Our ancestors, they didn't go kidnap a defeated people, but that's what they have taught us to be. So that's why I like that message from Reverend Jesse Jackson. You are somebody. I am somebody. I know that I am. I can only speak for me. Anyway, let's see. The unsubscribed queen, how you doing? Says Rip Jesse Jackson. Yep. I don't have any ill things to say. I'm just not gonna do it here. You know what I mean? 9 Mile players, how you doing? I love you too. I really do. Diane, how you doing? Says the ones who talk all the BS hasn't done a thing to advance the cause. I'm gonna let you say it. Sister Sharon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Melvin, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not getting that far into the weeds with all of that. Farm guy, how you doing? Says breaking. Yes, he was 84 years old. Yeah, Parkinson's disease is it's a hell of a disease. My father recently passed of that December, and it's a hard disease to watch somebody pass of. It's cruel in a sense. So yeah. Let's see. Esther, how you doing? Says it's not okay, period. There you go. Just another woman. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Tony, what's going on? He says, no, come on now. I should have read your comment. You talking about the black ICE agent. Yeah, he's black with a job. He's working. You call the man it's crazy. Puma, how you doing? Says ICE is not us FBA's problem. No, it's not. We didn't create ICE. Not up for us to dismantle ICE. They're not targeting Black Americans. Again, I don't like how they're doing it, but it's a job that needs to be done. I'm sure there's, ICE type of ICE departments in other countries. There's a lot of countries you can't just, hey, I'm here. Now I'm going to just bypass the system. I'm here. And I want that house, there's one that I can think of. I can't get into it here, but Dr. Distorting, how you doing? Says bra is using his Where's Waldo cap. Oh, you talking about Torre. Ryan, how you doing? Says, so you think the person that's gonna actually call you that is gonna put that much thought into it? It's stupid. Well, they should put that much thought into it, because when your teeth is removed from your mouth from calling somebody that, they're gonna think about it then, right? So you might as well think about it before somebody does that, because you need your teeth to chew. And they know what that is. That term came from them, I would imagine, right? They had one in the house, the field, the yard even, right? And it went by the color you were. Usually the one in the house was probably mixed, because master been dipping and doing and all of that, right? So it was probably his children that was in the house, in the yard. From what I understand, he was a tiny bit lighter. And in the field, you were not. So they knew, and those white people know. It, like, you think they just heard it from somewhere. It's like, I'm going to use the term. Nah, they know what that term is. It's from them. So they knew exactly what they were doing. But like I said, when you gumming your food or you sipping soup, it's a different conversation. That's what I'm saying. Donatello, how you doing? He says, it's if you got so much a problem with their jobs, maybe he should pay their salary. Yeah. Give them another occupation. From what I understand, they was paying pretty good, but don't sound, I don't know, some ICE agents saying, yeah, I ain't got that $50,000 bonus yet. So it remains to be seen. Brandon says they're all exposing themselves. Yep, absolutely. J.M. McClinton, how you doing? Says Toure has always been problematic. Yeah, and I heard some things about him. I ain't gonna get too much into it, but his name came up during an R. Kelly situation. I know he was diming, if you will, on R. Kelly, but then they was like, oh, you've been accused of some things too. How dare you? The audacity, right? Spunk Onion, how you doing? He said it's not okay. No, it's not. It is not okay. Gospel, how you doing? Says he's wrong for that because we can never trust the qualification and validation of when it's okay to use the N-word. They will never follow what guidelines you think are in place for in this instance. Yeah, and it's like, what guidelines is there to call somebody that? Now, of course, we call each other that, right? When it applies or for context or whatever, but I don't ever want nobody white saying nothing like that to me. Never. So yeah. All right, skip it down. Wisdom, how you doing? You say, man, FBA don't care. We too busy buying and making our money. It says, we warn these undereducated MAGA whites to not vote for these PDF files. Now these sellouts are upset. Man, we too busy. Yeah, you know what? I hope so. Busy is what we need to be doing, right? Absolutely. So Grady boy, how you doing? Grandy boy, I'm sorry, says he just talked his way out of the community. Yeah, but he was speaking for all of us. He says we have excommunicated him and Candace Owens and Clarence Thomas, and that may or may not be true, but it's like you don't speak for the rest of us. Who's this we? You know, especially when you talk about people of color. Now, who are you talking? Who is this we, sir? You talking about, right? Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Albert Chill says he can't side-eye nothing with them pink glasses he's wearing. He needs the report to the dojo. Uh-oh. Wow. Gina, how you doing? Says we're not out there on average. Cartels are not us only to defend our country. Yeah. We're not out there. And I was asking my daughter, I was like, are they even protesting anymore? Because you haven't really heard a lot about it. I guess it's here and there, but not like it was before. I don't even know. Juggy app, how you doing? Says, is it cool to call our brave FBA military house? He says he needs to sit his A down. Absolutely, I totally agree with you. Ricky, how you doing? Says, and he wonders why 2006 midterms and 2028 elections will not getting heavy FBA. So you're basically saying won't be getting heavy FBA support. He supports white Democrat racists spouting anti-black slurs to FBAs. They disagree with him. Yeah. I think that they will probably won't rather be as many Black Americans out there voting, but we're still going to show up more so than anybody for the Democrats. Mark my words, we will. It's going to take us some time, I think. Buckhorse says, I don't know who he's talking to. He damn sure wasn't talking to my people. I know that's right. You tell him again. Child of God, how you doing? Says Tora. Okay, so Barbados. Thank y'all. Didn't know where. I didn't even think about it. I was like, because he's kind of always, I guess in the last 20 years, been in Black culture, if you will. I forget what shows he was on, but so I never thought about it, but it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Melvin says, Black people get them jobs, get paid while the going is good. Get your work on. The more of us, the better. Yeah, I mean, if they're paying, but do it right. Don't be doing all of the stuff that you see people doing out there. Just do the job, And you know what? The Black ICE agents that I've seen out there, they seem pretty cool. From the situation I've seen them having conversations. I haven't really seen, I haven't, not saying they haven't, roughing too many people up like that. So yeah. John, how you doing? Says, who was the president before them too? So you talking about before Obama and Trump? So you had Clinton, Bush. So who are you speaking of? The fascinating fee. How you doing? Says Toure is a damn immigrant. Okay. Joanna, how you doing? Says, why didn't he say that about the Dominicans? That's what I'm saying. You can say that about any other group of people. You can just call them all kind of names because you know better. So why is it okay to do to us? D Cole, how you doing? Salute to you as well. 3 Skills, what's going on? It says them Dems are not going to walk them home. And he said the Democrats are not walking who home? The immigrants? Justin, how you doing? Says, I know a lot of people scream about not going into the bushes with some people and things, but it's necessary. It just depends on what bushes we going into and who in them bushes. I don't typically like to go too far into the weeds with certain things. I feel a lot of things really ain't my business like that, but it depends on what it is. Because, you can't just be running up and I want to be careful how I intend that. You can't just be running up in everybody's bushes. Do what you want to do with that. So, Theodore, how you doing? It says, Brother Malcolm, you were right. Absolutely. Floyd, Joy, how you doing? Says, Tori's logic is upside down. There were no black law enforcement officers when blacks were marching in Georgia and Alabama. It was the white law enforcement who was Democrat hurling the N-word at blacks. Absolutely. Olivia, how you doing? Says, we're spies. Okay. And I'm sure it's something I said. James, how you doing? Good afternoon to you as well. Says, so the evil, disgusting Democrats have gone so low, so childish that they want them folks to go anti-black against us, all because we FBAs approve of voter IDs. Oh my God, 76%. Too bad. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. They run around here talking about, oh, it's racist because they want y'all to have IDs. I would imagine that most Black people have IDs, whether it's a driver's license, a passport, a state ID. If you're in the military, what a DD 214 or a military ID, whatever it is, most Black people have ID. And it's really, if you really just want to be basic about it, just to do the simple things in life. I might want to go give me a bottle on Saturday night. You know, and if I don't look 21, which sometimes people say I don't, let me stop lying. But I'm gonna need an ID. I'm gonna get into a club or something. Somebody even mentioned on my show the other day, to get a library card, you need an ID. To get certain medications from the pharmacy, you need an ID. I would think more so, but to say that it's racist, that they would, oh, it's just like a poll tax and, you know, the counting the bubbles and all. See, that right there ought to tell us how the Democrats feel about us. They're going to sell us short like we some, an ID. Why needs that? So they play into that. They want to tell us it's racist because they want you to have an ID. You need an ID for anything. Most things. But that's how they do us. Because unfortunately, they know a lot of people who are on the Democrat plantation will say, you know what? They're right. It is racist. And they won't even ask why. Why is that racist? You know? Let's see. Boss Don, how you doing? Says, so what you call the Spanish ones that unalive the white dude? We need to know, right? Totally. Chris, how you doing? He says, what is the point of non-Black American learning about the Black struggle if they can apply what they have learned to the rest of society in the future? So I think you meant with if they can't apply it. Well, that's why we continue to have these conversations. So we can learn about, I mean, why? I don't know. I guess I'm kind of confused and conflicted because why is it an issue that Black Americans want to learn about our history and things? We should. Everybody else knows their history and their struggles and all of that. But, and I'm not saying necessarily you were feeling this way, but when it comes to us, it's like, well, why you want to know that? Why not? Shouldn't we know that? In the nation of Islam, they say study history. You should study history. How do you know anything about what's going on today or what may happen in the future if you don't study history? So we have to learn to study those things and to apply them. That's why we have these conversations. That's why, you know, I try to like really bring in some context rather when I'm talking so that I can back up what I'm saying, right? I guess. So let's see. Stephen, how you doing? Says Torre is not Black. Also, he's a puppet to the DNC. I have banned the DNC from anything. Well, I follow a lot of those things because I need to know both sides of talking points so that I can have a more informed decision. Because I follow something necessarily doesn't mean I believe in it. I just need the information so I can measure it. You know what I mean? So that's why I follow those things. Millicent, how you doing? And this is why we delineate. Absolutely. Dave, how you doing? Says Dems are cancer and anti-Black for sure. James O'Keefe has a vivid, he says a video rather of Democrats laughing about Black voters. Google it. I believe it. I don't even need proof. I believe it. Renz, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, Julian, how you doing? Respect to you as well. Willie, what's going on? So the Democrats should go to jail for treason. Oh Lord, now I don't know about all that. I mean, if that's the case, both sides of the aisle need to be in the clink. They both are. Both of them mean the American people no good. Willie says, shout out to our great master teacher, Dr. Claude Anderson, for warning us about illegal immigration. Yep. Superior, how you doing? Since I just ordered his books. Wow. We say 777. Okay. Okay, let's see. Brian, how you doing? Says Trump and Joe Biden never liked each other to my best knowledge. Sounds like, right? Because he got even the picture of Joe Biden in the White House, it's an auto pen. A picture of an auto pen just signing things because Trump calls him Sleepy Joe and basically saying that he wasn't really present or awake while he was serving in the White House. I was like, that is so diabolical to put an auto pen in the place of an actual photo. It's crazy. Middleton says Alex Vega and HUD channel was interpreting videos of illegal immigrants who were bragging and flashing cash rather, they received from the government. He would then report them. Well, damn. Yeah, sometimes people talk too much, and that's one of the times. Next, how you doing? It says groups come to America illegally, receive benefits, and start acting like they're better than Black Americans. Why not stay in your own country and become successful? It's a whole different conversation. And it's funny because the book that I would usually show to illustrate that it's popping up my mic. But I'll talk about another day. A lot of that is they come over here because of the destabilization of their government by the American government. Different story, but just for context. Daryl, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, who else haven't I seen? Jim, what's going on? Since the Chinese are a minority of a minority and they managed to get their own crime bill. So in terms of numbers, it's not about quantity, but yeah, so you said Chinese. I guess if they wanted to break off from Asians, but see, even they don't do that. Even they know that they're Asians, whether they're Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, or whatever, they know they're Asians and they're okay with that because they know they can get more by saying that they're Asian and not delineating in a sense. Scoop, how you doing? So we hard-headed. I'm from Los Angeles. I've seen this coming back in the early 80s. A lot of us were still and are still trusting these political sellouts. Yep. The info something report. How you doing? Says, why do people see the Democrats as saviors? The Republicans and Democrats are not our allies. Totally agree with you. Sung Hai, how you doing? Says, I'm registered to not vote. To hell with all the family. Well, again, reconsider state and local level elections. Those have the biggest impact on us. Again, another conversation for a different day. Infamous, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ali, what's going on? Alaikum salam to you. Our Negroes, where have you been? He says Torre is not on code, and now we know why. So yes, indeed. But listen, I'm not going to get to the bottom of the comment section. I hate that I'm not going to be able to do that. But so far, I think I've seen everybody. Terrence, how you doing? Says the Democrats are just like the Dallas Cowboys, all hype with no real outcomes or policies for FBA. That is crazy. I always say they just need to put their cheerleaders in. Perry, how you doing? Says Parkinson's disease is also a form of dementia. Yes, it's a nasty disease. And I didn't realize the effect that it has on a person until my father, was afflicted with it. And, sometimes people don't really know. And a lot of times it's misdiagnosed. Jose, how you doing? Laugh Dynasty, what's up? Yeah, so a lot of times people don't know. Pop, how you doing? A lot of people don't even know that they have Parkinson's, again, because it's misdiagnosed. Mad Dog, how you doing? Until they say, oh, you have Parkinson's, but by then it's kind of, hey, Thunder, you kind of, because my dad, he would shake a lot, and then it was kind of, uncontrollable movements like that, and eventually, sometimes you can understand him, and sometimes you couldn't. So yeah, I don't wish that on anybody. I remember, because we're kind of talking about Jesse Jackson, that's what he passed of. I remember when I was talking to my father's doctor, this was maybe close to a year ago at this point. So he says, Parkinson's it has a lot of things going on with it, but he says the problem with people with Parkinson's is when they eat, they inhale their food. because their muscles and stuff like that don't really work to really dissolve the food. And so sometimes they inhale the food, and it leads to like pneumonia and stuff like that. So then I asked him, I said, so is there like an end date? For my father? He goes, oh no. When God decides it's time for him to go, that's when he'll go. So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So, maybe 8 months or so after that, my dad did pass away. But, I just wish that they would find a cure for that. I mean, we're all going to go one day, but I just believe certain things people should not have to endure. But I will say, by my father, man, he was a trooper to the end. Because my sister and I, we would always say, hey, daddy, it's time for you to come live with one of us. You got to come live with us. And he says, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. We're like, well, daddy, eventually you're going to have to come live with one of us. Because, once you get Parkinson's and things like that, it gets harder for you to take care of yourself. But he was taking care of himself, for the most part. And so when he passed away, I jokingly said to my sister, I said, well, I guess he's there now, And I said that because that's what he meant. My dad was a man's man. He's like, I'm going to take care of myself till I leave out of here. He just could not stand the idea of allowing somebody to take care of him. My father was 81. Jesse Jackson was 84. So I just really hope that they do find a cure for that. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. You guys, please stay tuned for everybody else's content as we work so hard to bring that to you. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. And I will be back here. Memphis is the capital of Egypt. So I'll be back here tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central Time, and on my channel tonight, 5 p.m. Central Time as well. So in the meantime, you guys have a great rest of your evening. See you later. Peace.